Let us quickly look at this simple mathematical problem. Back bearing. Okay, we'll know what bearing is all about. Just tracking location between two or more points. Now, for back bearing, some people call it reverse bearing. If we know the bearing of A, say from B, okay, we know the bearing of A from B, A and B being two locations here. Let's say it is X. Then the bearing of B from A. Bearing of B from A is what we call back bearing. Yes, if we know the bearing of A from B, then bearing of B from A is what we know as back bearing. Now, how do we simply find this back bearing? If we know the bearing of A from B and it is X, now the bearing of B from A can be found using this simple technique. Apart from the diagrammatic method you can use to do it, you can do it using this simple, just very simple approach. Now, if the bearing of A from B, which I take to be X, now if X, which is the bearing of A from B, if X is less than 180, yes, if X is less than 180, therefore the bearing of B from A, that is the back bearing now, will be X plus 180. Very simple. Yes, if the bearing of A from B is less than 180, then the bearing of B from A will be that X, which is the bearing of A from B, plus 180. Now, if X, which is the bearing of A from B, is greater than 180, okay, then the back bearing, that is bearing of B from A will be X minus 180. Yes, if X is greater than 180, then the bearing of B from A will be X minus 180. Very simple. Let us quickly look at an example. So a simple example says, if the bearing of A from B is 120, find the bearing of B from A. Just hold on. Let's do that. The bearing of A from B is 120. What is the bearing of B from A? Now you find out that here, solution. In this case, that bearing is less than 180. So if the bearing of A from B is 120 degrees, because that bearing is less than 180, then bearing of B from A is equal to 120 plus 180, and that will give us 300 degrees. Very simple, very simple. Now another simple example says, if the bearing of S from Y is 270, find the bearing of Y from S. So in this case, we can see that the bearing of S from Y, the first bearing we have, is greater than 180. Okay, now the back bearing will be, that is bearing of Y from X, that is the back bearing, will be 270 minus 180. 200. So 270 minus 180 will give us 90 degrees. That is the back bearing. Thank you for watching and God bless. Please do remember to subscribe to my channel and comment, like and share. God bless.